What's up, everyone? Let's get right to it. Recently, Young Miami sat down with Shannon Sharpe on Club Shay Shay, where she made a surprising revelation. She's no longer signed to Quality Control, the label that once housed the City Girls. Of course, this revelation got people talking, and social media was buzzing with comments and opinions. Young Miami and JT, collectively known as the City Girls, were signed to QC and gained massive success with their debut project. However, once the duo began to drift apart creatively and personally, it seemed inevitable that their business relationship with QC would eventually fizzle out. After the group's breakup, QC apparently decided to part ways with Young Miami as well. During her interview with Shannon Sharpe, Young Miami casually dropped the bomb that she's no longer affiliated with QC. When Sharpe asked about her music and if her label was planning to drop anything new, she replied, "I'm not with that label anymore." Take a listen.
Quality Control won't release your music. Is it true they won't release your music because why do you think?
I'm not signed to Quality Control.
You're not anymore?
No. I don't know. I just think as an artist, like, I think that like we get in our head, you know, like,
because when you have so much success on that freshman album,
yes,
everybody be wanting that.
They expect so much more. You get what I'm saying? Like, it becomes so much pressure. Like, people really strip you away from your personality. Like, they'll love you and big you up for who you are. Like, I love Carisha because da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And then, like, after a while, they take you down for it.
Right.
They don't like you for that reason.
Yeah, you need to evolve. You need to be something.
Right. And then you will get in your head and you just start overthinking the process and you just like, maybe I'm not good enough. And then it just become a whole thing. It's like, I'm not going to say you get insecure, but you just like overthink the process. And it's just like, you want to please everybody, but you can't please everybody. Mm-hmm. And the same reason why they used to love you, they don't love you no more. So it's just like, you know, you start trying to like create new things and come up with new things. And then it's like, this ain't really me, but I'm trying something different. And it's just like, what if I do this and it don't hit? And it's just like, you got to keep going back to the drawing board.
Now, this is where things get interesting. People immediately began speculating about what led to her departure. One theory that popped up frequently was that QC wasn't putting as much effort into pushing her as a solo artist. Many fans pointed out that once P, the co-founder of QC, sold the label, the energy just wasn't the same anymore. Others felt that Miami herself lost interest in music, especially after she started exploring other ventures like her Carisha Please podcast and her game, Carisha Roulette, both of which have been doing pretty well. Some fans believe that Young Miami was never as passionate about music as JT, while JT seemed focused on her craft, dropping solo tracks that gained traction. Young Miami appeared to be more interested in the lifestyle that came with fame. This didn't go unnoticed by QC, and perhaps the lack of drive played a part in their decision to part ways. Let's be real. Young Miami's focus shifted from music a long time ago. She was busy making headlines for her relationship with Diddy rather than for her music. Fans couldn't ignore how she went from being one half of a successful rap duo to being known as Diddy's girl. It seemed like her attention was more on living the high life than staying consistent with her music. To make matters worse, when she did release music, the quality just wasn't there. Listeners noticed that her delivery sounded uninspired, almost like she was just going through the motions. Young Miami admitted that there was a lot of pressure to replicate the success of the City Girls' first album, which did really well. But when it came time to follow it up, things didn't go as planned. The City Girls' later projects, including their last album, Raw, didn't receive the same level of support and promotion. Fans could tell something was off. When Young Miami mentioned the pressure she felt to meet those high expectations, some people weren't buying it. They pointed out that every artist faces pressure after a successful debut. Nicki Minaj, Drake, and countless others have dealt with the pressure to maintain success, but they put in the work to stay relevant. Young Miami, on the other hand, seemed to lose her drive along the way. Once the news broke that QC had dropped her, social media was flooded with opinions. Some people were empathetic, suggesting that maybe Young Miami simply outgrew music and wanted to pursue other interests. Others, however, were far more critical, accusing her of getting lazy and choosing an easier route by focusing on her relationship with Diddy and her podcast, instead of putting in the work required to thrive in music. One user commented, "She forgot she changed, and the Diddy-ish was weird as hell. Getting peed on the poppy sign, and more. Her memory bad." Another chimed in, She clearly said that she didn't want to be a rapper anymore after Diddy told her she could be the next Oprah. She played herself with that. The truth is, the City Girls' momentum had been fading for a while. Their last album, Raw, sold a dismal 3,000 copies in its first week, a huge drop from their previous success. The lack of promotion and enthusiasm from both the label and the duo themselves spoke volumes. It was clear that the group's dynamic had shifted, and fans could sense the disconnect. After Raw flopped, the writing was on the wall. The Breakfast Club interview where the City Girls discussed the disappointing numbers felt more like a funeral than a promo run. It was as if they knew the end was near. Not long after, JT and Young Miami went their separate ways, with JT pursuing her own music and Young Miami focusing on her personal ventures. Looking at Young Miami's trajectory, it's fair to question whether music was ever her true passion. Many believe she got into rap for the fame and lifestyle that came with it, but her heart was never really in it. When you compare her energy and commitment to that of other female rappers who've managed to stay on top, the difference is clear. Cardi B, despite only having one album in 8 years, has remained relevant because she puts in the work and engages with her fans. Nicki Minaj, even after 15 years in the game, continues to dominate because she's passionate about her craft. Young Miami, on the other hand, seemed more interested in the perks that came with being a celebrity than building a lasting legacy in music. It's also worth noting how the landscape of female rap has changed over the years. At one point, it seemed like female rappers were dominating the charts, but many of them struggled to maintain that momentum. Artists like Ice Spice and even Glorilla have faced their own challenges with consistency. Female rap fans often engage more with the artists' personalities and social media presence than with their actual music. This creates a situation where these artists gain huge followings but struggle to convert that into album sales. Young Miami and the City Girls experienced this firsthand. Millions of followers but low album sales. So, where does Young Miami go from here? Honestly, she seems to be doing just fine outside of music. Her Carisha Please podcast has been a hit, earning awards and recognition, and her Carisha Roulette game is gaining traction. Maybe this was the path she was meant to take all along. At the end of the day, Young Miami's departure from QC might not be the devastating blow that some are making it out to be. It's just the closing of one chapter and the beginning of another. She's already proven that she can succeed outside of music. And if she plays her cards right, she can continue building her brand in new and exciting ways. But what do you guys think? Was QC right to drop Young Miami? Do you think she ever really cared about music, or was she just in it for the lifestyle? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear what y'all think.